Hey, I don't know if I'm live. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. Give me a second here. Oh. Hello. Give me one moment. I don't see it popping up yet, but I think it should be.
I see Michael Perry.
You see it on there?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's working? Because I don't see it over here.
I see that you wrote hello.
You see I wrote hello? Okay, good. Hello, everybody. This is super rushed. I just finished editing the podcast. I'm actually saving it right now to get it out there. Had a lot of technical issues. The audio's a little shabby on it, but the content is really good. So I appreciate you guys out there for your patience waiting on the Cruise Geeks episode 46. I hope you guys will be able to listen. It's just a little quiet. There's a little bit of static in the background. But I think that it's listenable. It's just going to be hard maybe to listen to it in a car or something like that. But I'm still trying to get this up here.
Joe sees you, and Michael Perry sees you. And,
Okay.
and Joe hears you as well.
Okay, good. Okay, there. I think I got it now over here. Okay, all right, here we go. I don't even know what I'm going to draw. It's been crazy. So we recorded the podcast last night, got done fairly late, and I didn't get to edit it. We had some technical problems, got files swapped around pretty late, and then, I had to work today, of course, so... But here I am. I wanted to get a little bit in before the live stream. I'm super excited about tonight's live stream. What do you guys want me to draw? I don't even know what to draw, really. Any ideas? What should I draw? I can just draw question marks. How's that? Probably not really that exciting to draw question marks. Any suggestions on what to draw? Let's see. Tell you what, I'm gonna try and draw a piranha, just because it's something I can draw easily while I'm kind of talking, at least sort of easily. And we just watched, I think ParaDJ. They were going into all these stores getting free stuff, and one of the stores they went into was Piranha Joe's. Piranha Joe's. Joe, do you own Piranha Joe's? Just curious. How about some cruise creatures seen in the wilds of the Bahamas? Well, there are no piranha in the Bahamas. They are strictly South America, and but you will see Piranha Joe's. So does that count? I don't know. We'll just do this really quickly. One of the things I like to draw. One of the reasons I like to draw piranha is because they have that awesome underbite, which I think is just really cool. And other than that, they're pretty much just, kind of your normal fish shape here. Of course, this one's a little on the cartoony side there. But tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Going to move him off to the side and shrink him. I'm melting! Okay, you go up there. Let's do this. Let's do a drawing of the cruise creature from this week. The podcast isn't even technically out yet, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal the cruise creature moments early. I know, it's so exciting, right? So exciting, but this one is super festive because it is the Christmas tree worm. Now, the Christmas tree worm does look like a Christmas tree, and I'm going to try. I've never drawn one of these before. They're a little bit challenging to draw, but basically they kind of spiral around like this. So I'm kind of putting in the loose loose sketch of this animal. They will actually go and they will live on like coral, kind of embed themselves in, not Carl, I don't think but coral. I don't think Carl's in here, but if he is, Carl, you don't have any Christmas tree worms growing out of you, right? But then this spiral, what it's got is it's got all these little appendages. I guess you could call them cilia because they're silly. Look at those cilia. Anyway, these cilia kind of go around in a spiral and they create this sort of Christmas tree looking creature. And what they do is they collect food. You know, just like people do this time of year. But they're not collecting it to help feed people. They're collecting it to feed themselves. So the little plankton and things drift along. They get stuck on the cilia. And then this worm, which most of its body is down here, will do this is the X-ray view. Not X-rated, but X-ray view of the worm is down in here. It's a segmented worm, like an earthworm. It's got little bristles to hold on. And this is the worm's body. It makes this casing. The coral will sometimes grow around it, though. And then it can pull the food in there. This whole Christmas tree structure can actually be pulled right inside of that tube. And that's how they protect themselves, by just being buried within all that stuff. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Joe, I wish we would be cruising way more often together as well. That would be a lot of fun. So this Christmas tree worm is not very attractive. I'm not going to lie, but Christmas tree worms come in a lot of different colors. The ones that I normally see are kind of yellowish browns. So I'm going to try something crazy. Okay, I'm going to turn on the background. I'm going to make the background blue, you know, like the water. And we're gonna try and kind of paint, be a little bit more painterly. I don't know what this is gonna look like. Okay, this is kind of crazy, me doing this right now. But we're gonna try and get a little bit more of a painterly looking Christmas tree worm. It's probably gonna be a horrible failure, but I don't care, because failure is how you learn. I'm not afraid to fail. All right, so whenever you're drawing feathers or fur or Christmas tree worm cilia, you got to think about it in layers. So I'm kind of putting these cilia on here now, but right now it just looks like kind of like maybe a big bird hairball, feather ball. I don't know, what would you call that? Anyway, we got to add some more detail. So this is just kind of the base of it all. I'm getting a little sloppy here. But we want to go in with some other color. So I'm going to go in with a dark, maybe kind of reddish brown here. Kind of relying on Sandy if anything really interesting comes through there. And now I'm going to do my kind of layers of color to see if I can create sort of this cilia hair look to it. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Normally, this sort of drawing I would take a lot more time with, so thus why it's probably going to be a big failure. But you guys will at least hopefully get an idea of how this would work. Now, these guys do have sort of a general stalk that all this sits on, and then down here is where that cave is. I'm going to go back to my yellow color here. Just kind of go over that. Sometimes they have a little bit of purple. They're really pretty worms. Yeah, they're worms, but they're pretty worms. Kind of rounds it off here. Yeah, this is not really the look I'm going for. But, you know, it gives you the idea. Google them. Google them and see what they look like. And you'll be like, oh, okay. Now I understand what he was attempting to make there. And, yeah, so this is kind of, sort of, a little bit what a Christmas tree worm looks like. Is it still live, Sandy? Is it still going on over there? Mm-hmm. It is? Okay. All right. Just making sure there. Yeah, all right. So Christmas tree worm, that is our cruise creature that we have for this week. The Claykowskis just subscribed to my channel. John, which channel did you subscribe to? Did you subscribe to Creature Science Illustrated? Because I'm pretty sure he's already subscribed to the Cruise Geeks and my personal channel. All right, let's see. What else can we draw? Sandy, you got anything you want me to draw over there?
No.
No? That's
Manatee.
manatee. Big surprise. Sandy wants me to draw a manatee. I don't know who would have guessed that. All right, well, let me just bring up a little reference photo here of a manatee. You'd think, Matt, don't you know what a manatee looks like? Well, yes and no. I mean, I've seen a few manatees in my day, but when you go to draw something, our brains create sort of an idea of what these things look like, and that's not always what they actually do look like. So it's important to look at reference, unless you've just drawn so many of these things that you really, really, really have a good mental library. Now I'm going to kind of do cartoony manatee, so let me just kind of do some rough pencil work here just to get the manatee in, and then we'll kind of go over it and we'll make him look a little bit better. One thing about manatees that you got to respect is that they are big animals, and they basically they do the same things I like to do on a cruise. They swim underwater and they eat. And those are really the things I like to do on a cruise. So the manatee does that in its real life every day. And so I really respect them for that. They have these little flippers. They actually have little toenails on there because they are mammals. They are vertebrates, and so they've got a lot of the same bone structure. They got vertebrae in their neck and everything that humans have. And but they just wear it a little differently, the manatee. I think I've done manatees before, but you know, this is last minute on the fly, so I didn't get a chance to really plan this out very well. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging because there was no thing last week. I don't think I did one last week. All right, now then, of course, they've got this big paddle tail here in the back. All right, now here's what I'm going to do. We're going to cartoonify this manatee a little bit. So I'm going to make these lines a little bit faded out with the opacity. Then we're going to ink the manatee. Let's do this. Let's make him bigger though, so we can get a little more detail. Little advantage of digital art there. All right, now we're going to ink our manatee. We're going to get his little muzzle in here. I need a bigger pen than that. What am I doing? Okay, I got my studio pen. All right, so little muzzle in. Now, when you're doing inking,
Joe loves manatees too.
well, good, Joe. Glad you like manatees. Manatees are really cool animals, really. When you're inking stuff, you can kind of show the weight of something by the thickness of the line. So if you want to represent like a shadow or the bottom, just regular actual weight, like it sounds, one of the ways to do that is by line weight. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, or try to here. And we'll try and do this little Inktober-ish here, because I won't have time to really color it. So we'll...
All right, we've got Emily over on Facebook.
All right, Emily. Hi, Emily.
And we've got Chris from the group cruise, Chris.
Chris from the group cruise, Chris.
Yes, Chris and Cricket.
Oh, hey, Chris. Okay, all right. How are you, Chris? Glad to have you along here. Drawing our little manatee friend. Now, manatee have whiskers, or as us science folk like to call them, vibrissae. That's the fancy word for whiskers. It just means whiskers, all right. But yeah, they that's one of their main sensory organs there, and this guy's looking interesting. All right, he's got his little head here. You can tell I'm focusing on drawing now because my chatter has stopped a little bit as I'm looking at the manatee going, oh, this is not necessarily turning out the way I wanted to. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. but then I can't talk very well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. How's everybody doing out there? How's your holiday going? Are you doing anything fun for Christmas or New Year's or whatever, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you guys celebrate out there? Any cool and interesting plans going on out there? Get this little thing in here. Here we go. It's our manatee. Manatees are very wrinkly. Now, I think I'm going to try and color him a little bit here. I'm going to turn off my sketch because this is pretty bland manatee here. And what I'm going to do is just duplicate that. Just going to use a little digital trickery here just to make this go quicker. Just bear with me for the digital trickery. What I'm really doing is I am filling in this whole shape here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock these pixels down. You guys, if you've watched me do this, you've seen me do this before. I'm going to alpha lock it, which means that I can only paint where this is selected. Then I'm going to switch to my airbrush. And we're going to add some detail. So we're going to add some shading on here. We getting any chatter over there, Sandra?
No.
Nobody's chatty? So one of the cool things about episode 46, which I'm going to get that released as soon as I'm done with this, I think it's done saving now, is that it's heavy in the geekette department. So it's got a lot of Jenny on there. It's got a fair amount of Sandy on there. So it's more than just Tony and myself rambling this time. It's a lot of geekettes too.
A lot of geekette rambling.
A lot of geekette rambling. And you can look forward to a lot more of that. We're going to work the geekettes in a lot more to the podcast. So, you know, definitely something to look forward to. Going to add a little highlight here. The problem with me doing these is I always feel like I'm rushing them in.
Oh, New Year's is Emily and Joe's anniversary.
Really? You guys got married on New Year's. That's pretty interesting. That's cool. So you can see I'm kind of, pardon me, you can see I'm kind of highlighting the manatee a little bit. I'm going to add some more, make this a little smaller, add a little bit more definition here. Well, congratulations, Joe and Emily, on your wedding anniversary. You guys should go on a cruise for your anniversary, right?
How about a cruise at the end of January?
Yeah, we're going to be on one. The very end of January. In fact, I don't think we get back until February. Is that right? Yeah, so yeah, you should do that. You should come down on the Carnival Paradise. Well, aren't you guys doing like a family cruise?
Next September, I think.
Next September. That's way too far away. That's way too far away. You guys know that. Come on. Come on. What are you doing? All right, and then I'm just going to give this manatee some little highlights. This is one of my favorite things to do in a drawing is to add some little highlights. Even on a simple drawing, I was going to use some adjectives there. Like this, although this kind of makes him look a little creepy, I think. I don't know. It can often pop and make your creature come to life. All right, I'm going to turn off this layer. I need something else to draw.
Oh, we got Brandy.
Hey, Brandy. Hey, Brandy, we got something in the mail from you today, from you and Dave. We got a Christmas card. Thank you so much, Brandy. That is awesome. We really appreciate that quite a bit. It's been a super busy week or two for us. You guys have probably all seen the cool collaboration we did with Griffin, Alyssa, and the traveling duo, we went to a park down here to look at Christmas lights. Let's do that. Let's draw some. Let's draw something Christmassy. How about
Mark
that?
Robertson just joined us.
Hey, Mark Robertson. Hey, Mark, I may have another diver for us if we decide to go scuba diving in April. Found out that there's another diver. In fact, he may be watching right now. Is Michael Cruiselover watching right now, Sandy? Thought I heard you say he was there, but
I saw him at the beginning. I don't know if he's still in here.
Okay, well, I need to do a much bigger brush here. Michael Cruiselover is a scuba diver, and he hasn't gone diving in a while, but he was talking to me about maybe doing some refresher courses. So I don't know if we're going to dive, Mark, but if we do, maybe a group of divers, which would be really cool.
Stacy has joined us on YouTube.
Hey, Stacy. How is your holiday season going, my friend?
And Mark says, those lights at the garden were beautiful, and I'm up for the dive.
All right. Mark, I'm thinking that the best place to dive might be Grand Turk. What are your thoughts on that? Just because I know there's a lot to do in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. I know I don't want to dive in St. Thomas just because I want to definitely do stuff with the Sandies, and there's a lot of cool stuff to do in St. Thomas. But I think Grand Turk is a good place. I have dove there once before, and it was pretty good. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, Mark? All right, so this is obviously a Christmas tree. Now, just like the Christmas tree worm, or when you're drawing hair or fur, I usually put down like a kind of a base coat, and then what I'll do is I'll go in with maybe a little bit lighter to add some detail. Maybe we'll go a little thinner too on here.
Michelle is watching as well. Michelle Harrington.
Oh, hey, Michelle. Josh and Michelle just got back from their cruise. Still have the cruise crud to go along with it. And they've got some vlogs coming out, so check out their vlogs on their cruise. So many vlogs. It's so hard to keep up with them all. We're trying to get to Brandy's doing vlogs. If you haven't seen those, her Vlogmas vlogs, my goodness, Brandy, you're like a machine. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you guys do it. So many vlogs. It's a lot of work. So you can see it's kind of helping to add the different colors. And I'll go through and add some more too.
So Stacy says he's doing great. They leave Friday for the airport to head to Miami for the cruise on Sunday.
Now, Stacy, you're doing a back-to-back, right? Back-to-back cruise. I think that's what is going on there. Very nice. Very cool. Super excited for you.
All right, it's 8:24, Matthew.
8:24. Okay, so I'm just going to go for a few more minutes. Then I'm going to sign out. I'm going to get the Cruise Geeks episode 46 up and loaded so that you guys will have it for later tonight after the live stream, or more likely maybe your commute to work. Like I said in the beginning, the audio is a little rough on this episode. I apologize up front for that. We had some issues, but the content is awesome because it's a lot of talk about the cruise that Tony and Jenny were just on, and so hopefully it's listenable. All right, I need to add a trunk. Now here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go underneath, add a trunk to this really quickly. Just a little hint of a trunk here. Little happy trunk for a happy tree.
Mark said Grand Turk sounds good. I have to split my time with the wife and daughter and the land-based stuff they want to do.
Yep, I hear you, Mark.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the same situation. Not saying I don't want to do that, you know, but yeah, definitely gotta get those priorities and stuff. But we can figure it all out. Oops, on the wrong layer. Add a new layer.
Yeah, Stacy's back to back is on the Carnival Magic.
Ah, okay, Carnival Magic. It's a kind of magic. Very cool. Where are you going, Stacy? I can't remember all the stops you're going to.
Mark's trying to figure out what camera to get.
Mark, are you thinking underwater camera or just general camera? Like video camera underwater? If you are, obviously a lot of people would tell you GoPro, and I won't argue with that. GoPro is a fine camera. I've had some issues with them, but I think they've been bad luck issues. I would recommend the camera I use highly, which is the Sony FDR X3000. It is an amazing camera. Josh and Michelle just got it. I think they like it from what they've done. But for underwater footage, in my opinion, it is superior to even the GoPro Hero 7, which just came out. It has built-in filters that accommodate for the lack of red color from the light and the water, that do a better job than the physical filters that you can get for GoPro. Again, just my opinion. But I have used both cameras. I haven't used the latest GoPro, but from what I've seen, this camera is still as good or better than it. I really like it. It comes with an underwater housing. The GoPro is waterproof to about, I think, 30 feet, but that's not going to do you any good if you're a diver. The housing on the Sony, it's not waterproof without the housing at all, but with the housing, it's waterproof to, I don't know, like 200 meters or 100. You're not going to be diving past that depth, and it works really well. So you'd have to buy the dive housing for the GoPro. It's another expense. I like the form factor of it. When you're out of the water, you can plug in an external microphone to it, but honestly, I've never had to do that. The mic on it works really well. Yeah, it's a quality camera. Super happy with it. It doesn't have a screen. You can get a screen that kind of works with it. You can use your phone, but there's a lot of lag. But I think the screen, Josh and Michelle got that screen. I think they said it works pretty good. Honestly, I don't use a screen underwater anyway, so it doesn't work underwater, but I don't ever use one underwater. Sometimes I wish it had one above water, but once you kind of learn how it frames things, it's not too bad. It does aim a little high, I find, so I'm often having to remember to point a little lower than I would think. But really nice camera. I highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, Michelle says that the Sony's a good camera. They love it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you guys like that.
And I got Stacy's ports here.
Oh, okay. What are
Cozumel, Belize, Roatan, Grand Cayman, Grand Turk, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, and Amber Cove.
Wow.
That is a port-filled.
That's the back-to-back. That's all of them back-to-back. Yep. That's a nice run. Yeah, that's a really nice run. That's going to be awesome. I'm jealous. So cool. All right, let me just give a little gold trim on this, and then we will wrap it up here. Little impromptu Christmas joy for you guys. You know what I think I'm going to have? I'm going to have to get this Cruise Geeks episode on there, and then I'm going to have a nice glass of bourbon and Coke, I think. And I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to enjoy La Lita Loca live stream, and yeah, that's going to be my evening. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience. Sorry I was a little late tonight. I'm glad I was able to come along, and I will probably see most, if not all of you, over in the La Lita Loca live stream tonight. Everybody else have a fantastic evening. Well, even if I do see you, have a fantastic evening. and we will talk to you later on.